The male lead of the drama, Lee Jae-in, is the CEO of SH Hotel, and he thinks, I want everything in my life to be perfect. And because of his anger, his employees keep fearing and trembling before him. Today, during a meeting, when an employee's phone rings, Lee Jae-in picks up his phone and breaks it. On the other hand, the female lead, Kim Da-hyun, is exactly the opposite of Lee Jae-in. She is a very sweet and lenient school teacher. She loves her profession a lot. Today, while she is conducting outdoor classes for the children, she hears the sound of something falling. When she goes back and looks, an old uncle who was hiking in the forest was lying unconscious. Kim immediately takes him to the hospital and cares for him. When she finds out he is homeless, she herself becomes his guardian, so that the hospital staff, thinking he is alone, do not throw him somewhere else. Lee Jae-in is getting very angry at his employees today because one of their clients had booked their VIP room for himself, but later they changed the venue. He shouts a lot about this matter. Lee Jae-in also knows many foreign languages, and he deals with his foreign clients and recognizes their likes and dislikes. He is a very big businessman. On the other hand, after spending her day when Da-hyun reaches home, one thing becomes known. She runs a fan club for a K-pop idol, Jisoo. Jisoo is a rising star who hasn't gotten much publicity, but Da-hyun works day and night for him and wants he should become successful. Da-hyun remembers that old uncle didn't seem to have much money on him, but while leaving he says thank you to Da-hyun and gives her an apple because he thinks she is quite kind-hearted. The next day, Da-hyun is going to work, but she had a bad habit. She always used to forget her things somewhere or the other, and today also, the exact same thing happens. She forgets her phone and her bus leaves. On the other hand, Jae-in was perfect in every work. He used to be strict with his employees, and he wanted everything should be in law and order. But from another angle, he was quite humble too. He did not have the attitude of a CEO at all. Today, Da-hyun has come on a blind date at his hotel, and as soon as she arrives, she bumps into Jae-in. Jae-in helps her and also tells Da-hyun her way, explaining to her, you have to go in this direction. But from his help, Da-hyun does not get the idea. He is the CEO of such a big hotel. She thinks he is an employee. After this, attorney Park arrives, who is Jae-in's grandfather's lawyer and is also Jae-in's friend. He calls Jae-in in an emergency because Grandpa had made some changes in his will. Those changes were so odd that Jae-in is shocked upon hearing them. Actually, Grandpa had decided, I will transfer the shares of my portion to the name of a girl named Da-hyun. And he had kept this condition, whoever is her spouse, he can take these shares. In actuality, Grandpa had bound him and indirectly sold Jae-in, as if he was saying Jae-in should marry Kim Da-hyun. Seeing all this, Jae-in gets angry. He had established the hotel himself and it was in his name, but the SH group was very big. He starts feeling insecure, thinking, my own cousin, whose name is Tai-ha, might marry Kim Da-hyun, after knowing Grandpa's will to take over the SH group. And from this, a very large portion of the property will slip out of my hands. Then they show Grandpa. Grandpa is that old poor man whom Da-hyun had helped in saving his life, from where Da-hyun had won his heart. One day, Jae-in goes to Da-hyun's school with attorney Park to meet her, and they ask her, do you know Lee Gyu-cheol? Da-hyun makes an innocent face and says, no, there is no student by this name in my class. Actually, she had no idea. The SH group has transferred all their shares to my name. The attorney clears everything, saying, the SH group has indeed transferred all their shares to your name. When she finds out about this matter, Da-hyun feels these people are scammers. At first, they only used to call on the phone. Now, by coming personally, they are trying to trap me in some game and want to rob me. Attorney Park is talking nicely, but Jae-in is getting angry, thinking, how cunning is this girl? First, she lured my grandpa, and now she is acting as if she is completely ignorant. He says to Da-hyun, how cunning you are? First, you lured my grandpa, and now you are acting as if you are completely ignorant. Da-hyun gets angry and says, can you sit with your mouth shut for a while? Otherwise, I will get up from here and leave. For the first time in his life, someone had dictated to Jae-in, so in helplessness, he bears this scolding. After a while, they are unable to reach a statement on any matter, so Da-hyun and Jae-in start fighting with each other. Jae-in thought, I want to show my authority over her just like my employees. But Da-hyun does not fall under his authority, because she thought, I have no interest in the SH group, nor in the shares. The attorney calms both of them down, saying, please calm down. Da-hyun finds out. Along with the shares, Grandpa also wants to marry his grandson to me. Da-hyun is shocked upon hearing this and says, the person whom I cannot bear for even 2 minutes, I am going to marry him? She says, where have these people popped out from into my life? Jae-in taunts her, saying, if you have no interest in me or in the SH group, then you should have thought about this before luring my grandpa. Da-hyun feels insulted. so she kicks both of them out of her school. Jae-in's mood is ruined. On top of that, he comes face to face with Tae-ha, who handles SH's malls and is his competitor. Both engage in a cold war with each other and go their separate ways. Jae-in feels, Grandpa has trapped me very badly. He gets Da-hyun's data pulled up. He finds out she is a sweet, ordinary girl. She is a teacher and also handles Jisoo's fan club. Jae-in calls Grandpa in anger, but he doesn't pick up his call, so he goes to meet him. Grandpa places Kim Da-han's biodata in front of his wife's photo and shares with her. This girl seemed exactly like you to me. I want her to come into Jae-in's life and improve him, just like you came into my life and improved me. Meanwhile, Jae-in also arrives. The grandfather and grandson always stayed at loggerheads. They do not talk directly, but rather, taking the grandmother's photo, they taunt each other. Jae-in convinces Grandpa saying, how can I marry such a girl whom I have met for the first time? Grandpa says, all the girls you have dated to date, they were miserable like you. In fact, even more miserable than you. That is why your personality is getting worse day by day. You need a good girl. Jae-in says, all right, I will date this girl straight for 3 months. And if this works out, then I will even marry her. But more than this, I cannot make any promise to you. Grandpa gives him a time of 6 months instead of 3 months. And on this, an agreement happens between both of them. The next day, Jae-in goes to Da-hyun's school. He thinks, I want to sit and talk sincerely so that I can fulfill the promise made to Grandpa. He thinks Da-hyun is not in the school, so he is going back. Just then, Da-hyun comes back to school because she had forgotten something in the school. Well, Jae-in calls her to a place and takes her there to sit and discuss the matter respectfully, but Da-hyun says, I don't even know who your grandpa is and why are they bringing my marriage into the middle? Da-hyun stands up and says, come on, then the discussion should not be between you and me, but between 3 people, and the third should be your grandpa. Come on, get up right now. Let's go to meet him. Hearing this, Jae-in gets ready, but he doesn't know. Where is Grandpa right now? He immediately calls him and says, the girl you had liked, she wants to meet you. Grandpa says, how to convince her that is your tension. Therefore, do not trouble me by calling me repeatedly. I am not going to meet. Hearing this, Da-hyun says, see, you got caught. You are a scammer. You suddenly brought Grandpa into the middle because you don't have any actor. While Grandpa is enjoying it a lot, he is having a lot of fun because he thinks, Jae-in always used to trouble me, and now I will trouble Jae-in. Jae-in calms Da-hyun down, saying, please sit, and shows her by searching on Google. Upon searching CEO of SH Hotel, Lee Jae-in's photo is coming up, and he also shows his card. Looking at the photo, she is not able to believe it. She says, maybe both of their faces look alike. But he says, believe me, this is me. We don't just look alike, it is actually me. Da-hyun gets a little convinced he cannot be a scammer, but she gets ready to talk to him on this condition, saying, you will call me respectfully. And Jae-in, for the sake of calling her respectfully, starts calling her teacher instead of saying Da-hyun. Da-hyun says, if your grandpa has really transferred the shares to my name, then fine. I can marry a good person. The shares are in my name anyway, but what is the need for me to tolerate such a bad temper of a bad person like you? Why are you sticking to me as a free gift? Now, after hearing this, Jae-in's temper goes very high, and he comes to Attorney Park and says, for the first time in life, someone has called me a free gift. Everyone used to tolerate the tantrums of such a big CEO, and now he was having to walk behind that girl. His anger was so much that he was feeling, I should break and shatter everything. On the other hand, Jisoo comes to meet Da-hyun. Da-hyun tells him, cover yourself and come. But he says, I have not become so popular yet that anyone will recognize me. But Da-hyun had hope he is going to become popular soon because he has talent. Well, the next day, Jae-in calls Da-hyun to meet. There, Da-hyun is about to bump into a man, so Jae-in grabs her, pulls her towards him, and brings her close to himself. Here, for the first time, he had indeed made Da-hyun's heart flutter. Jae-in sits down and tries to make Da-hyun understand again and says, you yourself had said, I have no interest in money or anything. Legally, it is my right. By saying this, you are proving yourself greedy. But if you are not greedy, then listen to me. I have convinced Grandpa. He has agreed on dating for just 6 months. If everything remains fine between us, then he will change his will. You can at least do this much help for me. Da-hyun gets angry at him again, so she scolds him and saying to him, get out of my life, she walks away. Grandpa is getting all the news. He finds out my grandson is going again and again to plead with that girl, but every time he comes back rejected. Hearing this, he enjoys it a lot. The weekend arrives, and every weekend, Da-hyun's mother used to send her on a blind date. And today, also, she has come on a blind date. Jae-in has also come to the same hotel for a meal to meet his mother. Jae-in spots Da-hyun here, and the way Da-hyun is meeting that boy, It was looking like these people are on a blind date, but Da-hyun is talking to that boy while laughing continuously, and that boy was also looking reasonable. Seeing this, Jae-in is feeling pain. He immediately ends the meeting with his mother and reaches to ruin Da-hyun's blind date. Jae-in sits near Da-hyun and asks her, "What did you think about the dating? My grandpa likes you so much." "Fine, if you don't want to agree for marriage right now, then take some time to think, but don't reject like this." Now, such an impression goes on that boy as if she already has a boyfriend and is angry with him. He says, "I am sorry," to her, and runs away from there. Sitting right there, Da-hyun gets her mother's call. She scolds her a lot, saying, "If you already had a boyfriend, then why have you been giving me trouble for so many days?" Jae-in enjoys this situation a lot and says to her, "Look, you are going on blind dates, meaning you need a man for marriage, and I need you to obtain grandpa's shares. So why don't we make an agreement among ourselves, make a deal? Your need will also be fulfilled, and mine too." Da-hyun says, "I don't need a boy like you at all." Nay, Jae-in gets insulted. He thought, "I am very handsome." Jae-in grabs her again, brings her, and explains, saying, "Look, even if you don't marry me, at least date me for 6 months. In exchange for this, whatever you ask for, I am ready to give it to you." Da-hyun's very first condition is saying, "You will talk to me respectfully." And after that, she starts counting the lack of funds in her school to Jae-in. There wasn't even a school bus there, nor are the labs there very sophisticated. Along with this, she also wanted a computer lab there, and she wanted big glasses should be installed in the dancing classes. All this was no problem at all for Jae-in. Child's play. Along with this, she also tells another condition saying, "I have a friend, Yae-soo. He has fallen into a salary contract agency. If he breaks the contract, he will have to pay 120 million. We do not have any good lawyer to hire because he himself is still a student. Can you help him by asking your attorney to fight this case?" Da-hyun had put very big conditions from her side, but for Jae-in, this was no problem. He makes a deal with her. And finally they say, "We will soon sign our 6-month dating contract as well." And just as she is about to leave from there, she is about to get hit by a car. Here, Jae-in grabs her and brings her close to himself. Here, Da-hyun becomes happy, and she also says thank you to him. There, Jae-in goes and gives all the details to Attorney Park. Actually, Park is also in a hurry to get all this solved. The reason for that was because they thought, we do not want the news of this will to reach Tae-ha in any way. Otherwise, to gain his power, he will ruin everything. The next day, as soon as Kim Da-hyun reaches her school, she sees the things I had talked about in front of Jae-in in the school, all those conditions have been fulfilled. All the facilities had been completed there, which were lacking in her school, but Jae-in was also impressed by her due to this fact, thinking, Da-hyun didn't ask me for a single one for herself nor any favor. If she asked for anything, it was for the students of her school or for Jisoo's future. Finally, they start official dating, and for the first time, they meet in a restaurant. After this, he makes a request to her saying, "Will you go to a concert with me?" She said, "I do not want to come." But Jae-in forcefully takes her with him and says, "Walking with me like this, roaming around, this is a part of your contract. You will have to fulfill it." Here, Da-hyun sees some keychains outside and buys keychains starting with her and Jae-in's names. But here, the payment had been made by Jae-in because he was in a hurry. The concert they are attending is a classical music concert, but Da-hyun does not have the slightest interest in classical music. To watch the very same concert, Tae-ha and his family have also arrived, and they notice a girl is sitting with Jae-in. But she didn't look at all like the previous girls, the kind of girls Jae-in used to date. She was against his taste, and from this very fact, Tae-ha and his dad get some suspicion. While watching the concert, poor Da-hyun starts feeling sleepy. She was getting very bored. Here he wakes her up and brings her close to him and says, "Now if you try to sleep, as soon as your eyes close, I will kiss you." Hearing this, Da-hyun sits staring like an owl with her eyes open the entire time thinking, my eyes should not close anywhere. But as soon as she comes outside, she says to Jae-in, "I am feeling some lack in our contract." Then sitting down, she starts saying, there is a lack of one condition in it, and that is related to physical contact. Then Jae-in understands something opposite entirely, and he says, "All right, if you want to make any such contact with me, then make it. In my opinion, let us first know each other a little, then we will move the relationship forward." Hearing this, Da-hyun goes into shock and says to him, "No, I want to get this written. We both will never make physical contact." Jae-in says, "Look, we are dating, so I cannot say this. I will never touch you at all. If you wanted to get any such term included, then you should have told me earlier. Now you will pay the breach of contract fees, and your Jisoo will never be able to become an idol." Meanwhile, sitting right there, Da-hyun gets her mother's call, who says, I want to send you on a blind date again this weekend. Jae-hee-in snatches the mobile from her and says, I am speaking as your daughter's boyfriend. Please do not send her on blind dates. If you want to meet, then I am ready to meet you. Right here, while talking to the mother, he finds out Da-hyun has a nickname at home, and that is Da-da. Jae-in finds the name Da-da very cute, and now he also starts calling her Da-da with love. Jae-in being this free was making Da-hyun very uncomfortable. Well, while dropping her home from there, Jae-in starts remembering those keychains. When he looks, they are the couple's ones. He had just looked at them carefully. He says, all right, we should look like couples. Therefore, the keychain of your name should be with me, and the keychain of my name should be with you. Well, after this, saying see you to each other, they leave from there. But because of Da-hyun's habit of always forgetting, she forgets the keys to her house in his car. Jae-in sees this and comes back to return her keys. Now Da-hyun becomes happy seeing him there, thinking he himself has come back to return the keys. But from ahead, Jae-in starts saying to her, this trick of girls is very old. I know it very well. The boy whom they want to see again and want to call home to feed noodles together, they do exactly this. They deliberately forget something in his car, and he starts teasing, saying, you are trying to seduce me. Right here, while snatching the keychain from him, Da-hyun comes quite close to Jae-in. Now Jae-in gives a small kiss to his girlfriend. After this, poor Da-hyun is left shocked. He starts saying from ahead, in exchange for this much effort, you could only get this much. Yes, if you think, I will come up to your house. No, my upbringing has not been like this. So early, after just one date, I am not going to come to your house. Hearing this, Da-hyun, giving a forceful blow to his foot, snatches her keys and leaves from there. Well, Jae-in leaves from there, but later, that same kiss keeps coming to Jae-in and Da-hyun's minds again and again. Da-hyun starts thinking, this boy is a complete player, and my heart is already trying to flutter. She thinks, I don't know when and how these 6 months are going to pass. Well, the next day, when Grandpa looks at the newspaper, his happiness is worth seeing. The reporters had seen Da-hyun with Jae-in at the concert, and everywhere in the news, this same news had spread. Jae-in has made a new girlfriend who is quite different from before. His previous girlfriends had either been famous stars or some models, but this time he has chosen an ordinary girl. Seeing all this, it made no difference to Jae-in. He was really fulfilling a true promise to Grandpa. He is sincerely dating Da-hyun. But seeing this, Da-hyun starts feeling very bad, thinking, I have already come into the news so early. Today, only my mention has been made, and if tomorrow my photo also gets printed, then what will happen? Today, when Da-hyun searches about Jae-in, she finds out about his old girlfriends. They were one more beautiful girl than the other, and they were such famous girls. She starts thinking, this boy really was a player. But meanwhile, Jisoo comes to her and says thank you to her with a bouquet. He tells, my agency has become ready to end the contract with me. The attorney you had sent to me, he is very good and capable. Hearing this, Da-hyun becomes quite happy because she had felt, no matter how Jae-in is, but the promise he had made to me, according to the conditions, he is fulfilling all of that. Well, after that, Jae-in comes to meet Da-hyun, so Da-hyun starts scolding him, saying, you did not even say, I am sorry to me for yesterday. You had kissed me without permission. From ahead, Jae-in starts saying, you should be the one to say, I am sorry to me. You hit me so hard, and if I kissed you, then what happened? We are just dating, aren't we? This exactly is written in the contract. And dating means we will kiss, we will hold hands, we will roam together, and much more. Along with that, he starts saying to her, who gave you this bouquet? Of course, you yourself wouldn't have bought it. Has some boy given it? All right, then I want to make a small change in the contract, and that is this. You will not meet any boy other than me. Because Jae-in had a fear, the reporters will see again, and it will come in the news again. Some mess up will be created. Da-hyun starts saying to him, how many girls there were in your life, I know this too, and I am not going to place any condition on you. You will not meet any girl other than me. Therefore, you too do not place this. And while going back, he also throws her bouquet in the dustbin and says, no one other than me can give you flowers. After this, both of them go to roam somewhere again. Da-hyun says, last time you took me to the concert, now you come with me. Here she goes to a toy shop and buys puzzles from there, which she wanted to teach to her students. Here, sitting right there, Jae-in is getting bored, so he spots a child who was repeatedly demanding, I want to get a toy, but his mother had said no. Along with this, memories of his childhood start coming to him. In his childhood, he had a brother who was perhaps around his very age. His death had happened, and his mother used to remain very sad. When he remembers this, he becomes very sad and immediately goes and gets that child the exact same toy which the mother could not get him. Along with this, we find out The lady who had come to meet Jae-in, she was not his real but stepmother, and today she was sitting with Grandpa. At the same time, Taeha's mother, who happens to be his aunt, is sitting. Right here, a fight happens between the aunt and the mother. The stepmom is taking Jae-in's side, so the aunt says, "He is my brother's son. You do not even have a single drop of blood in him. Why do you take his side?" Then Grandpa chases both of them away from there. While there, when Jae-in comes back, he helps Da-hyun in solving her puzzle. Here, he had come quite close to her. He was very smart too, and in 2 minutes, he sets up the toy and gives it to her. While going back from here, another flashback comes to Jae-in. Seeing the rain, he starts remembering Jae-in had gone to meet his real mom in the rain, but she had married someone else. She had her own family. She was so lost in it as if she had forgotten Jae-in. But after that, Jae-in, sticking Da-hyun with himself, taking only a single umbrella, takes her with him to create a romantic scene and says, "When dating, then only a single umbrella is enough. There is no need for a second one." In the next scene, they show us the next day, when Jae-in goes to the office, there is a red line in his office on which only important and emergency calls come. Grandpa calls right on that and says, "You didn't come to meet me for so many days, and you didn't even have lunch with me." Jae-in says to him, "The red line is not for these kinds of calls," and says, "I am sorry." All of Grandpa's anger comes out on his friend Park, and Grandpa says to him, "Is he really dating Da-hyun in real or making a fool of me? She is a teacher. She would have at least taught him a little manners, how to talk to Grandpa." Her friend Hyun-jin comes to meet Da-hyun. She finds out Da-hyun is dating someone nowadays, and he is a rich person. Hearing this, she becomes very happy. Today after school, Da-hyun has to go on a date with Jae-in, and it is in an art gallery. Da-hyun meets him and gets angry at him, saying, "You have called me here?" And she finds out, last time, the concert he had taken me to, he had sponsored it himself and he was monitoring it too, and dating along with it. Da-hyun starts saying, "There must be some work related to your office right here. That is why you have brought me." Actually, the art gallery was not anyone else's, but of Jae-in's mother's new husband, who was a foreigner. Coming there, he even meets Jae-in and says, "Your mother misses you a lot, but she could not come here." After hearing this, Da-hyun also becomes shocked and says, "He seems to be your uncle." Jae-in says to her, "No, I do not consider them family." Here, a brother of Da-hyun is standing. Seeing her, he comes to meet Da-hyun. Seeing this, Jae-in sticks Da-hyun with himself and says, "We both are on our private time. Therefore, please, no one should disturb us." He is becoming a completely possessive boyfriend, and whichever boy tries to come near Da-hyun, he would give him a little distance. But while going back from there, Jae-in says to Da-hyun in the parking lot, "He was seeming quite close to you because he was calling you by the name Dada." He starts saying to her, "As long as you are in a contract with me, you cannot keep a relation with any boy. After your family, only I will call you Dada." Da-hyun thinks, this boy is not a devil, he is the king of devils. When Da-hyun reaches outside her building, she finds out searches are being conducted in the building opposite nowadays because some cases of theft have happened here. Hearing this, Jae-in becomes very scared and immediately comes with her up to her apartment. Looking everywhere, he starts making observations and asks, "Is this place safe?" He is worrying about her in a way exactly like it is done for a real girlfriend. Then he checks the locks of the windows and doors, etc., and satisfies himself grills are installed here and asks, "Are you safe or not?" Jae, in caring, feels very special to Da-hyun. She absolutely does not feel, "I am in some contract," but rather she is feeling as if, "I am in reality with a possessive boyfriend." Well, after finishing all his work, as soon as Jae-in remembers, he goes there where he had made the promise to meet Da-hyun, but she had left from there. Now he quickly reaches outside her house. Today, Da-hyun was in a lot of anger. She said, "I do not even want to hear your explanation." Jae-in says, "My phone had gone dead. As soon as I turned it on, I got the thought of the time." But still he is getting calls again and again. So Da-hyun scolds him and says to him, "For you, all this exactly is more important. You are still busy, so please, leave from here." Da-hyun had become angry with him while there was some emergency in Jae-in's office, because of which he keeps working sitting in the office even at night. And because of the emergencies of his office, he is not able to make any contact with Da-hyun for the next 2 or 3 days. In this way, the entire image of his hotel could have been ruined. Therefore, he has to work day and night. And he also suspected some people could do such work. Among them, one name was also Tai-ha. And one day in the mall, Tai-ha spots someone, and they were Jisoo. and along with him, Da-hyun. They were quite close. Seeing this, he starts getting suspicious. There is surely some mess in their relationship. As soon as Jae-in becomes free, he reaches her house to convince Da-hyun because she was not picking up his calls. Jae-in keeps waiting sitting outside her house for hours. The very same Jae-in, who had so much attitude earlier and kept making people wait for him, was now waiting so much for a girl. Now Da-hyun comes and makes him listen to words, and when she finds out what emergency related to security there was in Jae-in's office, then, hearing this, she calms down a little. Jae-in, to convince her, also takes her with him to feed her food in a restaurant. Now here, after the food is finished, Jae-in makes Da-hyun sit with him and tightly holds her hand and says, "Couples exactly do like this, and we should also do exactly like this." Well, right there, Jae-in, keeping his head on her shoulder, falls asleep because for many nights his sleep had not been completed. Now, after a while, Jae-in goes to drop her home. Da-hyun was worrying a lot about him, so she puts his phone on silent and says, "Make a promise to me today. I will forgive you on this condition. You will take full sleep and will wake up only tomorrow morning." And Da-hyun hugs Jae-in, and along with it he also says, "I am sorry. That day I made you wait a lot." Now it seems that for the first time, words saying, "I am sorry," had come out from his mouth. Da-hyun feels very special. Well, now the next day, Jae-in is in his office, then Ju-hui comes to meet him, in front of all the people. All the people were also recognizing her, who she is and of which group she is the heir. She says to Jae-in, "You walk outside with me. Otherwise, I will keep making rounds of your office." So Jae-in exactly has to come to meet outside with her. Ju-hui was trying to convince him again and again, saying, "Please patch up with me." She had just come back from abroad and wanted, "My patch-up should happen with Jae-in again." But Jae-in clearly refuses, saying, "I am not interested in you." Jae-in, after getting rid of Ju-hui, somehow goes to Da-hyun. Da-hyun asks him, "What is the most important in your life?" So he says, "Money, earning money." Da-hyun says, "You are a third-generation heir, aren't you?" Jae-in says, "That is the money earned by my grandpa. I want to do something on my own strength." Right here in the park, a child is about to come under a bicycle. So Jae-in running goes, takes that child, and gets injured himself. Da-hyun, seeing this, takes out a good job stamp from her bag, which she used to give to her students. Today, she puts this very stamp on Jae-in's hand. After this, both of them together do skating for quite a long time here. Both of them did not know skating. They both were teaching each other and were helping each other too. And right here, doing all this, they enjoy a lot. After a while, Da-hyun gets her mother's call, who was repeatedly forcing her, saying, "I want to meet your boyfriend, Jae-in." Da-hyun says, "It has just been 3 months of us dating. Let me spend a little more time with him." Jae-in says to Da-hyun, "I am ready to meet your mother," but Da-hyun says to him, "Do you want to marry me?" But he would have perhaps even said yes as an answer to this, but from ahead she says to him, "Do not make these kinds of jokes. Just 3 months are left. Our dating will be over, then our paths will become separate, your separate and mine separate." Hearing this, Jae-in feels very sad, but he becomes silent. Da-hyun was very happy today because 3 months had passed and now Jisoo had signed his contract with a big and good company. Then, after a few days, a meeting happens between Jae-in and Da-hyun. In reality, Da-hyun had kept a surprise birthday party for Jae-in. She calls him and also arranges a cake for him. There are only the two of them, but they spend a good time. Jae-in tells, "The day my birthday is, this very day is also the death anniversary of one of my brothers. For this very reason, for so many years, I have never celebrated my birthday, nor does my family wish me." But right now, he was feeling a lot of happiness, thinking, there is someone who has come to celebrate my special day with me. Now she also gives him his birthday gift and says, "Initially, my heart was to buy a tie." But Hyunjin told, "What does it mean to gift a tie to a boy? I thought you should not think anything upside down. Therefore, I gifted you something else entirely." Jae-in repeatedly asks her, "What does that mean?" Da-hyun, grabbing him by the tie, brings him close to her and tells, "If a tie is gifted to a boy, then it means you are mine." Hearing this, he starts smiling and says, "My wish is that you really gift me a tie." Then he starts saying, "If you cannot fulfill this wish, then fulfill another wish, and that is this: I want a kiss from my girlfriend." Then after that, he goes to drop her at Da-hyun's house. There, turning back from the door, she gives him a small kiss. His wish had been fulfilled. Now, a few days later, the mother comes and sits camping at Da-hyun's house and says to Da-hyun, "Until you introduce me to Jae-in, I am not going to go anywhere." Now here, Da-hyun becomes helpless and tells, "We have a contract, and according to that, I have to date him for 6 months, and after that, our paths will become separate." The mother starts getting angry at her, but from ahead she says, "I am not doing anything inappropriate. We just meet together, eat food, spend time. That is all. There were some tasks that were out of my reach, and those exactly I had to get done by him. She also says this, "Mother, you should have trust in me. Your daughter will not do anything wrong." And she promises, soon this matter will be over. Well, a few days later, the children's exams and a competition were there in Da-hyun's school. She was very busy, because of which she was not able to take out time for Jae-in. Jae-in is also not able to bear it. Jae-in talking to her principal saying, "Please allow me to sit exactly in her class so that he can at least look at his girlfriend for some time." All this was looking very romantic. Da-hyun also feels herself to be very special. The children were also getting curious here, saying, "Ma'am, is he your boyfriend? He loves you a lot." Now after the children leave, both come to the play area. Jae-in stops her and kisses her too. Both of them, after spending the evening together, go to Da-hyun's house at night. Jae-in had come to drop her but sees the door to her house is open. They go inside, then find out some thief had come there. All the things are scattered. Seeing all this, Da-hyun gets very scared. After that, Jae-in, after calling the police, brings Da-hyun to his house and says, "It was not safe for you to stay there." Now Da-hyun was at his house. Jae-in is changing his dress. Meanwhile, Da-hyun comes from upstairs, and seeing him, she feels very shy. Her feeling shy in this way, Jae-in enjoys a lot. Well, now Jae-in comes and gives some clothes to Da-hyun, which he thought these will fit her, and tells her, "Wear them." After that, he says, "You can comfortably sleep here because I am doing a little work. Therefore, I will be in the study room. When you go to sleep, then perhaps I will come back only then." But here, Da-hyun, picking up a drink from the refrigerator, drinks it. But she did not know this will be alcohol. After a little while, she is lying there drunk. Here, Jae-in comes to her and supports her. Da-hyun, due to being drunk, starts talking nonsense things and also says this, "Jae-in, I feel as if I have started liking you." And then she kisses him, saying this, "I like kissing you a lot." Now Jae-in, picking her up, puts her to sleep on the bed, and he himself, poor thing, sleeps on the floor. Now the next day, as soon as Da-hyun wakes up, she feels very embarrassed. She remembers her words from last night. "I even kissed him and also said, 'I love you.'" Now next, a small accident happens with Da-hyun. But here, Jae-in saves her and falls down himself. He has gotten a little more injured. Here, amidst talks, it slips out of Jae-in's mouth. "Last night I did not get sleep at all." And perhaps because of this, he was feeling very uncomfortable because Da-hyun was around him. Now he says, "Medicine on her injury." After that, an injury has occurred on his own shoulder too, because of which he is not able to wear his tie. Here, Da-hyun coming makes him wear the tie. In the midst of this, both of them had become quite close. Now after that, Jae-in says to Da-hyun, "Why don't you come with me for breakfast?" Anyway, there used to be nothing in the refrigerator at his house. Da-hyun could not make food by herself, therefore she has to go with Jae-in. But she feels quite shy, thinking, if people see us together, then they will think exactly this. They are doing breakfast together, then perhaps they have spent the night together too. Now she is becoming quite embarrassed taking this matter. But from ahead, Jae-in starts saying, "I do not feel scared of rumors at all. Whoever speaks, let them speak." And Da-hyun remains thinking exactly this. That is why you do not feel scared. Because earlier, so many celebrities have already been your girlfriends. Well, after this, Jae-in was going from the office to Da-hyun's house because Da-hyun had gone to check things at her house. But when Jae-in is standing in front of the elevator, then Joo-hoi comes and hugs him from behind. Here, Jae-in gets very angry at her, and he gives her the signal again saying, "Keep a distance from me." But there, when Da-hyun looks at Jae-in, she finds out some girl or the other was very close to him. There were makeup marks on his coat, and along with it, the fragrance of ladies' perfume is coming too. She looks at Jae-in with eyes of suspicion. Well, after that, those people go to Da-hyun's house. This time, the turn to be embarrassed was Da-hyun's because some of her undergarments were also lying scattered below. While gathering them in front of Jae-in, she was looking very cute. But after a while, Jae-in realizes no valuable thing was missing from there. He starts asking her, "Where's our contract paper?" The contract was lying right there, but Da-hyun says, "I had kept it not here, but somewhere else." And exactly right here, Jae-in understands this is no one else, but a member of my own family who has found out something about Grandpa's will, and they had come to Da-hyun's house to search exactly for the contract or evidence. In the next scene, Tae-ha's dad is sitting near Jae-in and shows him some evidence. Perhaps he himself had caused the theft at Da-hyun's house to get the contract checked. Now he also had the contract which Da-hyun and Jae-in had signed, and all the secret matters of Grandpa's will too. He starts saying to his son, "Ha. This means this girl who is there, Da-hyun, she is very important." Jae-in was dating her for this very reason because the shares of SH Group are attached with her. And yes, you remember this. This girl can be found by you too. If she will leave Jae-in, then she comes to you, so you also try. While tonight, when Da-hyun goes to the bar with Jae-in, then Joo-hoi also comes there. Joo-hoi, seeing a girl with Jae-in, becomes very jealous, and going in private, also tries to show Da-hyun down because Da-hyun is an ordinary teacher, and Joo-hoi herself is the heir of a very big Han group. Joo-hoi says to Da-hyun, Jae-in never dates any girl for more than 6 months. And anyway, you are not his type, so he will dump you very soon. Da-hyun, after hearing her words, becomes very jealous, and going to Jae-in, she makes him listen to exactly these bitter words, saying, "This exactly was the girl whose makeup I had found from your clothes." And Jae-in is enjoying this, the way Da-hyun was getting jealous. And here, Jae-in was not letting Da-hyun go to her house for a few days because he wanted the security system at Da-hyun's house should be updated. Along with this, there was a need for furnishing there too. He said, until her apartment becomes capable of living in, she will stay with me exactly. Now Da-hyun becomes quite angry at Jae in taking Joo-hoi, and on this very matter, she also does quite a lot of fighting with Jae-in, saying, "You forbid me, saying you are not to meet any boy. And yourself let this girl hug you?" Now hearing this word of hers, Jae-in comes close to her and kisses her and says, "When you get possessive in this way, you look very cute to me." And saying this, he leaves from there saying, "To control, it will become difficult." Well, a few days later, he brings Da-hyun to her apartment. Here now, everything had become very much sophisticated, and she finds out Jae-in has bought this apartment because the landlord was not ready to update in this house. Da-hyun asks him, so Jae-in says from ahead, "This was an investment for me. See, after a short time, the price of this apartment will also increase, and anyway, I will keep getting the rent." But all this was just an excuse. He wanted to give Da-hyun a safe house. And when he comes back home, and Da-hyun was also alone at home, then both of them miss each other a lot because they had spent a few days in one house. Well, one day Da-hyun was with Jae-in. He goes to the site, then there his aunt, meaning Tae-ha's mother, sees Da-hyun and coming near her, starts talking. At first she is acting very sweet, then slowly she makes Da-hyun listen to bitter words and is saying this, "You are not capable of becoming the daughter-in-law of our family. Therefore, date for a few days, but when Jae-in's heart gets full of you, then he will dump you and go away." But actually, Jae-in was not like this. Don't know why his family used to talk these kinds of things. After this, Jae-in goes to a small restaurant with Da-hyun, and they both eat food together too. Now one day, Joo-hoi sees Da-hyun shopping. A shoe was not fitting her, so there she leaves making taunts at her saying, "These shoes also are not fit for you, the way you are not fit for Jae-in." Now Da-hyun becomes quite upset from these kinds of words, but still, she had not shared any such matter with Jae-in. One day, Jae-in, amidst talks, had warned Da-hyun, saying, "If any man named Tae-ha tries to come close to you, then keep a distance from him," because he was his cousin who could also play a trick. But Tae-ha had once seen Da-hyun with Jisoo, and he was trying to come near Da-hyun through Jisoo, and making excuses, he kept trying to meet her because he knew Da-hyun is the president of his fan club. Well, now the next day Da-hyun gets a news, Joo-hoi's and Jae-in's engagement has happened. On every newspaper, on every website, this very news was spread. Seeing this, Da-hyun becomes very upset, while on the other hand, Jae-in was shocked, thinking, "Who spread this news? This is fake." Now he was trying to call Da-hyun again and again, but Da-hyun was feeling really like it is. In the news, this might be a business marriage of both of them, and this might be possible too. And he might have discarded me easily because his family repeatedly kept saying exactly this. Da-hyun is not capable of Jae-in. Jae-in will do only a business marriage. Jae-in feels a lot of anger at Joo-hoi, thinking she herself must have gotten all this done. And he says to Joo-hoi too, "Do not appear around me. Otherwise, reporters will get more excuses to spread false things." After this, Jae-in goes to Da-hyun and starts trying to convince her. He tells Da-hyun, "This article is absolutely false, and what is the truth? That is in front of you, and that is this. I do not like Joo-hoi. She was in my life earlier. Earlier, my marriage was also discussed with her. But after that, all this got finished." And hugging Da-hyun, he says, "These 6 months, I am exactly yours. Until our contract is not over, do not think this. I will even lift my eyes and look at any girl." Well, after that, one day, Jisoo had gone for a performance at a place, and right there, Tae-ha also arrives. And here, Tae-ha's meeting happens with Da-hyun again, and he starts giving Da-hyun a lift. And when he drops her up to her home, then there, Tae-ha's face-off happens with Jae-in. Jae-in, seeing Da-hyun with Tae-ha, is left shocked. Da-hyun finds out his full name is Tae-ha, and he is Jae-in's cousin from whom Jae-in had told me to stay away. She is also left shocked. Now, on this very matter, a little misunderstanding happens between Jae-in and Da-hyun, and a small minor fight happens between them. But poor Dae-hyun did not know Tae-ha is Jae-in's cousin. But Jae-in could not stay away from Dae-hyun for many days. One day he comes to convince her because he had realized his mistake. He stands below taking balloons and after that says, "I am sorry, a lot too." And in the end, Da-hyun forgives him anyway. Now finally, the reconciliation of both had happened. They spend a lot of quality time and go to eat ice cream with each other too. There, Ju-hui had not deterred from her antics. She had found out about the will through Tae-ha's dad, and she goes and talks this exactly with Da-hyun too, saying, "This was your status. You are his girlfriend because of a paper and are a helplessness which Jae-in has lifted on his shoulders. See, he will marry exactly me." And she makes an offer of money to Da-hyun too, saying, "End the contract with him. However much money you want, I am ready to give." But on this matter, Da-hyun feels her insult a lot. But she too had decided, until the contract is not over, I will never leave Jae-in. A very big event was organized from Jae-in's grandpa's side, in which their close friends and their family will come. Da-hyun gets ready very nicely. Jae-in becomes very happy seeing her. Here at the get-together, it was looking like a fish without water. Da-hyun was not being able to adjust in their environment at all. The people there were also very different. She had never attended such lavish and luxury parties before this. First, Ju-hui says some harsh words, "You are not capable of coming here at all." After this, Tae-ha's stepmom comes to her and says to her, "You do not fit with us." Now, after hearing all this, Da-hyun becomes upset. And Grandpa could not come to that party at all. His health had gone bad. Now Jae-in goes away from there, so Da-hyun also leaves the party and goes away. After this, Da-hyun does a lot of drinks to erase her sorrows. She feels exactly like this. I am not capable of Jae-in at all. Here, Jae-in comes and takes her home. When she was drunk, then Jae-in supports her and also speaks some words of his heart to her and says, "Undoubtedly, you are not from my environment. All the people say, you are a misfit, but still I love you and always want to stay exactly with you." Well, the next day, Da-hyun doing checking of some papers in her school had gotten very late. Here, Jae-in had to come to pick her up. He, standing outside the school, makes calls to her, but her number does not connect at all. But here it is found out. Ju-hui has kidnapped her. And after this, she contacts Tae-ha and says, "You want SH group, don't you? That I am ready to give you. I only want Jae-in, and in whose hand the SH group is, that you know anyway? It is in this girl's hand." Ju-hui gives the key to the hotel room to Tae-ha and says, "Go here and do whatever your heart wants and win this girl." Now Tae-ha going and looks, then Da-han is lying unconscious. But what will he do? But Tae-ha was not any mean person. He immediately calls Jae-in and gives him the address of that very hotel room. Jae-in comes in anger and punches Tae-ha. He says, "I did not kidnap her. I have saved her. Ju-hui has done all this." And he tells the whole truth truthfully to Jae-in, "I do not have any wrong intention towards you. I consider you exactly my elder brother. And yes, if anything wrong has happened with you or your family or the SH group, then my dad has done that. And I am against all this too, because the property which is of my maternal grandfather, that should be received by his real heir, not my dad." Well, the suspicion which Jae-in had on Tae-ha, that gets finished and both decide to walk together. After this they show, Jae-in takes a lot of care of Da-hyun, and because of this shock she was very scared. The next day when she wakes up, she stubbornly insists, "I will go to school." So Jae-in also has to accept her stubbornness, but he says to her, "Exactly, I will come to pick you up and I will come early." Now he brings her to his house and tells her, Ju-hui had done all this. I will never leave Ju-hui. How did she have the courage to lay a hand on my girlfriend? But Da-hyun says to him, "I do not want you to fall into any trouble." Well, Da-hyun was now at Jae-in's house. Both of them spend a good time. One day Da-hyun comes outside after bathing, then Jae-in comes from upstairs. He sees Da-hyun in wet hair like this, then she is looking very beautiful, very cute to him. Da-hyun hides from him and comes outside at that time when she feels Jae-in has gone from the house, but he is hiding right behind. He comes close to her and kisses her and tells her this too, "You are looking so beautiful." Here Ju-hui meets Jae-in and says, "Please forgive me" to him too, but he was absolutely not ready to forgive her at all. Ju-hui is just saying exactly this, "I had become blind in love, a mistake has been done by me." Then after that, Ju-hui meets Da-hyun and says, "I am sorry" to her too and repeatedly says, "Please forgive me." Da-hyun does not forgive her, but she sends her from her house and along with that says to Jae-in, "I do not want any proceedings against her. I want to finish this matter exactly here because I am safe and you are also with me." But a few days later, Jae-in's stepmother comes to meet Da-hyun at her school and she says to her, "You are a misfit in our family. All their daughters-in-law were from some big family or the other and were the heirs of big groups. She leaves saying exactly this to her. Even if your marriage happens with Jae-in, then it will not be able to last for a long time because your world is something else and our world is something else. Now hearing all this, Da-hyun becomes sad, but she does not tell Jae-in anything about this and just remains silent and thinks, however many days I am with him, those I want to spend nicely. Just 2 days were left in their contract ending, and when their last day arrives, then on that day, Da-hyun gets ready very nicely, and Jae-in too. Both of them together go roaming on the beach, spend a lot of time together. Jae-in asks her, "You will become free from the contract. What kind of a boy do you want to marry?" Da-hyun says, "I want to marry a good man." After saying this, only Jae-in exactly was coming in front of her. During this very time, he comes and brings a necklace as a gift to give to Da-hyun, makes her wear it, and says, "My heart was very much to give you a ring, but like the tie, some other meaning of that comes out entirely." After this, that day also passes, and evening happens. Their contract gets over. Jae-in comes to drop Da-hyun to her house. Here Da-hyun asks him, "Have you not fallen for me?" From ahead, Jae-in, taking tears in his eyes, says exactly this. "I had definitely tried a lot." And after that, he hugs Da-hyun and both say bye to each other. After this, Jae-in finds out Grandpa's health has become very bad. He was admitted to the hospital and it is immediately found out he has gone into a coma. At this time, many conspiracies were going on against the SH group. Jae-in was being told, "You run SH Hotel. Now your need is there from the SH group's side." He makes an entry into the SH group and appears as a director. Tai-ha's votes are also received by him, and Tai-ha's dad is thrown out from there. Moving forward, Jae-in's life becomes filled with business, pressure, and responsibilities. But all the time, he keeps missing Da-hyun. Both, despite being separated, keep loving each other. In the end, misunderstandings get cleared, families become agreeable, and Jae-in, giving a ring to Da-hyun, asks, "Will you marry me?" Da-hyun also says yes. Finally, their marriage happens. Da-hyun does not leave her teaching either, and Jae-in handles his business life. The media also slowly accepts Da-hyun and appreciates her social work. In the last scene, it is found out Da-hyun and Jae-in are going to become mother and father. Grandpa announces his retirement and says there's a special person in life by whose 1% effort 99% destiny changes. For Jae-in, that exactly was Da-hyun. And with this very thing, the happy ending of the story happens.